What's going on, everyone? In this video, I'm going to be going over my audio setup. Let's get into it. So if you are new here, my name is Jacob Scott. I make photography and filmmaking videos like this one every single week. So if that is something of interest to you, consider hitting the subscribe button right down below. Other than that, I'm also running a giveaway once I hit 1K subscribers, which by the time I post this video, I might already be there. But if not, check the first link in the description to get entered into that for a $100 Adorama gift card. Something to keep in mind about this audio setup, it's by no means a budget audio setup. For me, it ran about $500-600 for the entire thing. But that being said, people spend $1,000 on a microphone alone all the time. So it's really kind of like a mid-range. I'd say it's a professional audio setup, but it's not by any means really a budget audio setup. Now, starting off with the microphone, I went with the Sennheiser MKE 600 microphone. A couple reasons that I went with this microphone is number one, and really the main thing, is I really like the audio quality that came out of this microphone. When going through reviews, looking at things like the Rode NTG2 and some Audio-Technica microphones, I found that the Sennheiser microphones tended to just have the audio quality and, the preferred sound that I was going for out of all those other microphones. Another thing is this can take a AA battery if I don't want to use phantom power. Currently, I am using phantom power, and we'll get into that in 1 second. But if I wanted to have the option to not use that, if I needed to, for some reason, plug straight into my camera and get some sort of adapter, I have that option with this microphone. One other thing is the audio rejection from the sides of this microphone is pretty good. So it really helps you just capture the source audio that you want. And in a room like this, that helps to also reduce on, reverb noise, because it really is just taking audio straight from the source. Now, talking about phantom power, this microphone is running right into the Zoom H4n Pro, which currently I am running that with phantom power. So I'm not using the AA battery in this. I'm using phantom power out of the Zoom H4n Pro because people do say that produces a little bit better audio quality than just running the phantom power straight out of the microphone. Now, this audio recorder also has some pretty good preamps. So if I stop talking right now, there's essentially no noise at all. Whereas something with like my reference audio up here with my Rode Video Micro, and if I'm talking with that, you can hear there's a little bit of hiss. It's also picking up a little bit of other things like, my computer, stuff like that. Whereas this really does a really good job at keeping a really low noise level. A couple other little things about this, it has 2 XLR inputs, so if I want to run another microphone in this, run some weird stereo setup or whatever, I have the option to do that. Has stereo microphones on top, has a 3.5 millimeter jack on the side, so if I want to plug in a microphone like a Rode Video Micro, Rode Video Pro, have the option to do that, and it does have a headphone jack, so I can monitor my audio with that. Only issue that I've had with this so far is if I get my phone close to it, it gets some weird sort of feedback, so to just prevent from that, I just make sure to not get my phone close to it. But also something else to keep in mind, running phantom power, the battery seems to last surprisingly long, considering that it's only running off 2 AA batteries. I thought it would die quite a bit quicker, but I seem to get a couple hours of use time running phantom power when it's also powering this microphone. Now, that is actually mounted onto my boom pole using an action camera mount. This is just like a mount that you'd find for bicycle handlebars mounting an action camera, and it seems to work super well. So I can have my Zoom H4n pointed towards me so I can see if it's recording. If it does happen to die, it's pointed towards me so I can see if that happens, to know if I need to replace batteries. It also shows me time code. That's also a really good reference to know how long I've been recording with my camera over here. So I know if I get close to that 30-minute mark, I know, oh, I gotta go and stop the video, start it back up again. So that's actually really useful, sitting right there facing towards me. And that is just mounted onto this cheap boom pole that's just like a normal boom pole that you'd use music-wise. Nothing really crazy there. Now, 2 other little things that I want to mention. My reference microphone is the Rode Video Micro. That is plugged right into my Sony a7 III just to pick up reference audio to match the audio between these, because this is dual system sound, so I do have to sync the audio in post. That, for me, doesn't take barely any time at all. And my reference headphones, when I need to just plug this in before I start shooting and hear how the audio sounds. These monoprice headphones, super cheap, but highly recommended. Now, all that said, I do edit the audio a little bit out of this microphone in Adobe Audition. So let's jump to the computer and I'll show you what I do in there to get the sound that I'm looking for. All right, so the main thing that I really am going to do is going to, of course, highlight all this audio here, go over here to my effects rack, and I'm gonna go to filter and EQ and go to the parametric equalizer. Now, if I start playing this, just go ahead, you'll start to see some waveforms pop up here. Mainly what I'm gonna do is boost the highs of my voice, boost the lows of my voice, and pull out a little bit of the mid-tones. So you can see the lows of my voice sit about here. Capture the source audio that you really want. And the highs sit around here. So the first thing that I really do is actually completely remove these lows over here, because that's not the frequency of my voice. Anything that we see over here, I really don't need. And same with the highs. These frequencies up here, it's not in my voice. It could just be air conditioner. This could be the AC. This could be cars passing. Just unwanted noise that we don't want in our audio. So I pretty much just remove that and cut that out. And in a room like this, from here, I'll normally go ahead, boost the lows. That also helps cut down on echo noise as well. So also, it's actually got a pretty low noise level as well. So if I just stop talking, can also with the Zoom H4n Pro, the noise level is essentially, go ahead, pull out a bit of the mid-tones. Nothing. H4n Pro, the noise level is essentially nothing. And just boosting the highs. Now that, again, I would go ahead and just tweak that and tweak that and tweak it until I get exactly how I want. But that's pretty much the basics of how I do it. And then I went ahead and created a preset right here for that microphone. So this, not that one, this here is normally what it looks like. And it really helps to just go ahead and capture. That's sort of how I get my sound after it's been tweaked for this microphone. Something else that I may go ahead and do, but I don't do all the time, is I would maybe sometimes go ahead and apply a de-esser and use the ducking. Normally, I don't use it at 30 dB. I normally would turn it to only around -10 or 20. And then I may also go ahead and use a little bit of noise reduction, denoise, and bring this down to like 3 or 4% if there's any noise at all. Source audio. But normally, I don't have to go ahead and use denoise in this situation. So that's pretty much the basics of the things that I do to go ahead and just improve upon the audio just a little bit. But that is pretty much it for this video. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. It really does help. Also, consider hitting that like button as well. And if you have any questions about this, feel free to let me know in the comments below. But like I said, that's pretty much it for this one. I'll see you later.